And you know, I say that there isn't a day that goes by that I don't think of my teacher. And I miss him. And I continue to think about him, especially when I'm here in places like this. We would come here early because he always wanted to come here during the daytime. He wanted to go eat at the Crow's Nest. He'd always reminisce stories about he, Eddie Kamai, and Gary Haliamal used to hang out and outdrink the college students. And then we would come here, perform at night, and return back to San Leandro and be ready for the next show. The man single-handedly inspired a generation of Hawaiian musicians, myself included. The day that Uncle Dennis passed, I felt an emptiness in my na'au, my gut, although I had not yet learned of his passing. I then turned to my wife, Jen, and said, "Uncle Diaz passed." "How do you know?" she asked. And I responded, "I just knew." It was always a connection that I had with Uncle D, and sure enough, it was announced on Facebook, confirming my premonition. I briefly spoke to Auntie Robin to send my condolences and promised to be there however I could. Then I contacted the boys and told them to be ready for the fundraiser tribute tour to help the family. I didn't understand growing up listening to his music and then actually meeting the man and being able to travel with him. And with all of you Slaki students in here, you have to understand that Dennis Kamakai was the most personable person that you'll ever meet, but yet a force in Hawaiian music. He was the legend. Some say only second to the Queen when it comes to songwriting. How many of you here have seen him live? And we were all gifted and just so lucky to have seen him. The thing that had struck me was Uncle Dennis really didn't have any insurance. He was a musician. And so he struggled, and the first thing that comes to mind is to do a tour. You know, months passed and we were ready to launch the tour. Me, David Kamakahi, Herb Ota Jr., John Yamasato, and our MC and hula dancer, Brooke Mahelani Lee, Miss Universe 1997. Okay. It was just like old times. We added Chris Lau on bass, and he also helped with the driving. I had booked all the shows and put my producer-promoter hat on just as Uncle D had taught me. I hadn't spoken to some of the boys in a while, and was feeling anxious about the tour, raising enough funds for the Kamakahi family. The night before we left, my nerves were off the charts. This was unlike any of the other shows I produced or performed in. This was special. As I sat on the couch late that evening, watching a rerun of the show Friends with Jen, my wife, I shared my concerns about the tour. As always, she reassured me that everything would be fine. I was exhausted. From the planning and the last minute running around, I accidentally dozed off on the couch around midnight, while Jen was still trying to talk to me. In my dream, I saw Uncle Dennis backstage, greeting people, and then heading toward me. I recalled that he was being greeted as if nothing had happened, just like it was when he was living. But I knew this was a dream. I've had dreams like this before. Uncle D approached me and we looked at each other. It was as strong as if he were in front of me. In a sleepy haze, recognizing the distinctive voice of my teacher, I slowly opened my eyes, realizing I must have fallen asleep on the couch. I looked up at the television, and there was Uncle Dennis on our local PBS station. It was the documentary on the Waimea Ukulele and Slaki Guitar Festival. And he was being interviewed. And I thought for sure this was a sign. I mean, what are the odds of that PBS documentary airing at 3 a.m., right after I had a dream of Uncle D? I shared my experience with my wife in the morning. This was a sign, I told her. Uncle D is watching over us. We're going to be okay. And with that, she looked at me dumbfounded and said, that's funny. Before I headed off to bed last night, I left you on the couch and turned the TV off.